Do you know who this is? You don't, because this character never existed. In fact, the character you falsely remember is actually named Zelda, the hero of Hyrule who saved the kingdom. Now obviously that was a lie, but yet somehow all of our parents will still believe that this man is Zelda, which makes it a Mandela effect, a phenomenon that occurs when a large group of people wrongly remember something. Kinda like Chick-fil-A. I swear there was never a K. I want my money back. Shh. Anyways, let's start off with my favorite Mandela effect. Matt from Wii Sports is the best me, when in fact, he is the bad me. Like, really bad. Boo. Matt is only good at just two sports across the entire Wii Sports series. Boxing and sword fighting, where he stands as the top level champion. Now while this might make him seem badass, Matt is dog water at everything else. Bro is the first guy you face in tennis. My grandpa, in a wheelchair, beat Matt. At least twice. What's really interesting to me is if you combine every Canon Mii's skill stats, the supposed GOAT Matt isn't even in the top 50 overall. And you might be thinking, Skalo, how can this be? My whole life is a lie, Matt is a legend. Well, I have two theories on why this Mandela effect exists. My first theory is that Matt has become just such an iconic meme that he's generally seen as the face of the Wii Sports genre. That one took a lot of thought. But my second theory revolves around how much FaceTime this bastard gets. He is the first guy you see in the first sport, and I think that many people just ended up remembering him the most. Or maybe I'm just brain dead from being knocked out too much. What up, rat bastard? The most well-known Mandela effect in gaming is Pikachu's tail. I mean, everyone on Earth has seen him, and this theory is just super popular, so I'm gonna keep this one short. Basically, people thought that Pikachu's tail had a black tip, similar to like his ears or Pichu's tail. But that was never the case. Even Fat Pikachu had a yellow tail and a brown base. I mean, come on, look at him. How did you even forget? So I have two theories here. My first one is because of Pichu coming out in Gen 2, featuring a cuter design and, oh yeah, a black tail. He also came out in Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is the highest selling and best GameCube game of all time. So yeah, this one seems pretty plausible. My other theory, which I don't think holds as much credibility, is due to Pikachu's gradual redesign from fat fuck to skinny mascot. And over time, Pikachu has gotten cosplay variants like Pika Libre, who all have one thing in common, a black tip tail. And the fact they can't breed. Weird move, Game Freak. Jokes aside, I don't think that this theory holds quite as much weight because the cosplay variants weren't even shown till like 2014. But let me tell you one that definitely held the test of time. Diddy Kong's Quest is the second game of the Donkey Kong Country series, featuring the tiny bitch-ass little nephew of Donkey Kong as the main character alongside his side chick, Dixie Kong. No, they're not related. Out of all the times I've played this banger of a game, never once have I realized that the title does not say Diddy Kong's Quest, with the possessive apostrophe belonging to the word Kong, meaning it's his quest. It's Diddy Kong's Quest. Apparently, that was just never a thing. In fact, the game has always been titled Diddy's Kong Quest. You know, a funny play on the word conquest. I'm not laughing. I don't know how this many generations have gone by with this tiny little spelling mistake slipping under the radar. Maybe since they sound similar, nobody really noticed, or perhaps I was just really stupid as a kid and the cleverness of the conquest didn't really stick in my brain. Or maybe it's because Donkey Kong Country 3 is titled Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. Why did they do that? And why does this happen to so many of us? Well, let's look a little deeper. Mandela effects are weird. The biggest ones usually stem from pop culture references like Berenstain Bears or the iconic Darth Vader quote, "Luke, I am your father," which he never actually says. There's also so many examples of logos or quips that people get wrong, but the reasoning doesn't exactly translate to gaming in the same way. Because gaming is an immersive experience, more so than movies or your favorite brand or fast food chain, meaning you're more likely to remember things correctly. And this makes sense, especially when you consider that most of the gaming Mandela effects revolve around stuff outside of the gameplay, like the cartridge, titles, or art of character being different than we remember. Kind of like what we already saw with Pikachu and DKC2. But how do we explain gameplay elements that the player has interacted with over and over, things that everyone has surely experienced, still going forgotten? Kind of like this one. Skyrim has been released 7 separate times across 9 different platforms, and all of them have one of the greatest Mandela effects ever. We all know the classic, I was the Lionel Messi of soccer and then I took an arrow to the knee meme. This shit shaped internet culture back in the early 2010s, but what if I told you it was always wrong? Well, to be honest, you probably already know, but the classic line actually says I took an arrow in the knee, not to the knee. There's a difference. Did you even read? They only say it 400 fucking times. This one is pretty explainable. Internet memes. That's it. But what else came out in 2011? Minecraft's music disc problem is probably the most interesting Mandela effect in this video because it is the only one that has multiple different realities. We've all played CAD on the music box before, and when the music stops, does the disc pop out automatically, or do you have to manually remove it? You're wrong. If you've only ever played one version of Minecraft, being Java or Bedrock, and not really dipped into the other, you're probably confused right now. Stupid. Hello, Editor Skalo here. So it's actually ironic that I just called you stupid when it turns out I'm the one who's stupid, because every time I say Bedrock, not actually what I mean. I meant to say Legacy Console Edition, because that's where the music disc pop-out theory actually comes from. When I say Bedrock, I mean Legacy Console. This is where multiple realities comes into play, because only on early versions of Bedrock does the music disc pop out automatically. It has never done that on Java. This really hits home for me because I experienced this firsthand when I got my first gaming PC and finally booted up Minecraft with the boys. Up until that point, I was a Bedrock player on PlayStation, so when I was in my first world on PC, holy shit, I was mad when that disc didn't pop out. What the fuck, man? This thing is broken! The music disc problem is a little niche, so it's understandable if you haven't put much thought into it, but this next one is definitely gonna hit home. Oh boy, do I love falling off the map. We all know and love and hate Rainbow Road, and all probably have a favorite rendition of it. My favorite is on 3DS. Wait a second. What is that? Rainbow Road is probably the most famous racing track ever because it punishes shitty players due to a lack of guardrails, big jumps, and tight corners where you can just fall off the map. But not on Mario Kart 64. The Mandela effect comes in because all of us thought that Rainbow Road never had guardrails. Now, look at this. This is Mario Kart 64. How did we miss this? They are big as shit, yellow, star-shaped. It just makes no sense. Or does it? In my eyes, when you consider all 8 Mario Kart Rainbow Roads, only one has guardrails from start to finish, Mario Kart 64. The other tracks have guardrails here and there, but none are fully brain-dead baby bullshit like Mario Kart 64. So while it was cool for the time, it makes sense why we all forgot it. Where was I? Hey, I hope you liked the video. I had a lot of fun researching this one, and I just think it's so crazy that so many of us share memories that are just not real. I tried to stay away from physical things like the box or cartridge, as these kind of feel like a cop-out. Now that doesn't quite explain Donkey Kong Country 2, but I'll take my L and carry on. So whether you relate to my list or just have more to add, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope— What about Birdo being a dude? Who cares?